All right, journalist Tettek Kofi joins me from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for joining us on World Now. Let me start by saying congratulations to you, to your country. 70 years of the Queen on the throne. How would you describe her reign so far?
Well, Queen Elizabeth II's reign's been characterized by records. She's the longest lived monarch, aged 96. Only 3 monarchs have reached the age of 80. That would be herself, Queen Victoria and George III. And she has presided over so many different generations that no other queen has managed to do. So all in all, at the age of 96, she's done very well.
That's very nice. Well, the Queen, through her support behind the Commonwealth of Nations, explain how the relationship has been so far. So this Commonwealth of Nations brought together Britain and its former colonies. But how has this relationship with the Commonwealth nations fared since then?
Well, the thing is that when you rule for 70 years, they say a week in politics is a long time. Can you imagine the length of time 70 years is and the changes that can take place? The world that she is ruling her country in is indescribably different to the world that she acceded to the throne in. Right now, people who are of my age and older are the only ones who will recall that in her young years, she was an absolute icon, actually, amongst post-independent African countries. She had a fantastic relationship with people like Milton Obote, Julius Nyerere, of course, Ghana's own President Nkrumah. And as a diplomatic tool, she was incredibly invaluable to her nation in keeping the Commonwealth not only together, but also on side. Of course, over the years, things have changed. The people who are going to inherit her mantle just don't have that lifetime of experience and the depth of such relationships behind them. Perhaps the son, Prince Charles, has something of that. But even Prince Charles can't say that she knows the African heads of state in the way in which Queen Elizabeth grew up with those African heads of state. So, of course, the debacle with Prince Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, which had racism charges leveled at the monarchy in the United Kingdom, didn't do well for Britain in the Commonwealth. Bear in mind that 48 of the 54 countries in the Commonwealth are not European or white. And so, yes, we're moving into very different times, and I think it's going to be choppy waters ahead.
Well, looking at the Queen herself, she has barely been seen in public place for the last 6 months. With the recent news of her contracting COVID-19 in her old age, talk to us about how the mobility problems has been affecting or have been affecting her participation in most events.
In her favor, when you've been doing a job for 70 years, you have a lot of historical equity to call upon. So she is a person who can say that because she's done the job for such a long time, if she misses 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 engagements, she can say that people remember her more doing the job than her absences. But a few significant things have happened lately, which have made us all realize that the age of 96 is the age of 96. The state opening of Parliament, she was represented, and this was most iconic, she was represented by her crown sitting on a cushion, and her speech was read by her son, Prince Charles, who is putatively the heir to the throne. So it is clear that something is about to happen. It is clear that there is going to be, pardon the pun, a changing of the guard. And it is clear that this is now going to be very soon now time for Charles to step in, because she can't continue to downgrade her public duties and royal appearances.
Well, we'll look at some of these prominent people in the royal, the royal palace. But then, looking at the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, let's quickly touch on the Partygate. What has been the body language of the Queen on this matter involving the Prime Minister? You know, has she completely dissociated herself from this party row?
Well, this is it. I mean, with 70 years experience in the job, she has presided over prime ministers of every water and every political party imaginable in the United Kingdom. And she is a past master of the art of staying completely and strictly apolitical in these matters. But many of the comments that people who were watching the Trooping of the Colour today said to me thought that it was actually a relief not to have somebody like Boris Johnson presiding over an event like this, or indeed even present visibly at an event like this. People like the continuity that she represents. Partygate is an appalling chapter in Boris Johnson's political career.
Well, quite sad. So the Queen is not really saying anything about this, or she really doesn't want to be involved in all of this hullabaloo that's actually going on in the UK, because this has actually caused a lot of people to be angry, saying that you can't put institutes or you can't put in place stipulations, and you that are putting the stipulations there are actually breaking it. So does this actually cause a lot of more than what we see in the media happening in the UK at the moment?
Okay, Ibrahim, you see, there are two things which are going on here. I mean, on the one hand, there are people who are calling the Prime Minister the Teflon PM. Of course, Teflon is a non-stick coating you apply to pots and pans to make sure that nothing sticks to them. So Boris Johnson has had an unhappy history with telling the truth. And it looks as if in the case of Partygate, it's been another classic rerun of a behavior pattern that we have all become incredibly familiar with. I mean, I remember the news reports in which he was absolutely almost swearing blind that no COVID rules and regulations were broken in these party events which were revealed to have taken place. Well, when Sue Gray, a very senior and very much respected and trusted public servant, did her report, 126 public penalty notices were issued. You don't issue 126 notices if rules haven't been broken, number one. And crucially, 2 of those notices were charged to the Prime Minister and his wife, Carrie. And even after that event, what has happened now is that a new revelation is coming up that on or around the 19th of June, which would have been the Prime Minister's birthday, a second party took place other than the one that's been covered in the report. And this second party has not been reported on by anybody, right. But apparently at a time when only 2 people were supposed to gather in a household, the Prime Minister had another party thrown by his wife for her chums, her mates, and supporters of the Prime Minister. Now, what's happened is that the ethical and the moral battle has been lost by the Prime Minister a long time ago. We are now in the world not of ethics, but in the world of politics. And so what will drive the events that unfold will be the calculus done by a Prime Minister's party about whether or not he will be a liability and lose them their seats at the next general election. Right. That is what everything is hanging on. But as for the matter of whether or not the Prime Minister told the truth, as for whether or not He is fit to be a leader who tells people what to do, but
Right.
can't be bothered to follow the rules.
Right.
He has lost that one a long time ago.
All right. Well, we'll see how the issue of the Prime Minister actually pan out at the end of the day. But then I'll say again to you, congratulations to you and the rest of the people, the rest of the people in the UK on the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Right. Journalist Tettek Kofi, thank you.